All right, y'all, let's cut the music. Welcome back. Welcome back to your favorite WMMA podcast. It's hashtag CB99 Talks. It's episode 185. What's up, y'all? What's going on? We are coming up on the end of 2024, man. Dang, can't believe another year done flew by. I mean, for the most part, this year was kind of a blur, but at the same time, a lot going on, man. Just on the behind the mic, behind the scenes, all of that. It's been a crazy year, man, but made it, made it through, man. What's up, y'all? What's going on, Marcus? Easy E, what's up, family? Axel, what's up? What's going on, y'all? We back again to talk about some of your favorite fighters, some of your favorite fighters you like to hate, and some of your fighters that you just love to simp over, right? Oh man, I've been making the Dakota fans kind of mad lately. Easy said, "All hail Queen Ditcheva." See, Easy's a fan of Dakota, but he ain't mad at what I say, man. It don't piss him off. It don't get in his feelings when I say what I say about Dakota, cause he knows I don't hate her, man. Like I don't hate Dakota. Like where does this come from? So many people think I hate this fighter. I'm like, man, like when the Dakota fight comes on, I'm watching it. You know, when it comes on, I'm watching it. It's just I need to see a little bit more before I can just hand somebody the belt. Okay, the same way everybody else wins a belt and they're held champion. That's what I need to see. I can't give the person champ status if they don't have that particular belt yet. I can't give them that ranking over that person. I mean, never worked that way and it never will. Okay. That's just how it is. But yeah, I love ruffling the feathers of the Dakota fans sometimes, I love it. I love it because if you really listen to what I'm saying the same thing I say about any fighter. That's where you can see that's where you see people really just showing their true feelings because the same thing I'll say about let's say a Miranda Maverick or Montana De La Rosa, any other fighter, I could say the same exact thing, but it'll be okay. But the minute I say something about Dakota, it's like, red flag. So I'm gonna just keep on doing what I do. I'm just staying true down the middle, and that's how it is. Like if I see a fighter do this, I'm gonna call it the same way. But if it just so happens to be a favorite fighter and you don't like I critique them the same way, or whatever. I don't care. I actually like doing it. I'm gonna keep on doing it. That's what makes it even more fun because it's like I'm doing the same thing, but then when it falls in line with something that you truly worship. Uh oh. So that's that's the fun part of doing this thing. That's why I'm gonna always be here. I'm gonna always be on here talking. I'm never gonna hide. People could talk junk all day, but here I am. I'm always gonna be here, and I ain't got to get mad. I ain't got to cuss or do nothing. That's why I like doing this show. What's up, y'all? Easy said, right? No hate, just analyzing. Yeah, just analyzing. I love it. I mean, you see something, I see something, I see it a little different. You see it a little different. That's all it is. That's all it is. Yeah, Axel. People think I'm hating on her. Because every time I do these videos, like y'all don't see the comments. I just have to block some people because they start, just talking out of line. So I'm just like, I don't even want that type of person on my channel. So every time I see the comments before y'all see them, I just block them. Like the last couple of videos I did, I just block them. But I don't care. Robot, what's up, man? He says your opinion, you never put the ladies down, or anyone who just listens should know better. Yeah, they should know better, but when it comes to somebody you think you have a chance with, you can't do that. It's like, oh no, I can't listen to him. He's wrong. He's wrong on this. But it's fun. I love it. It's been a good year as far as WMMA. I think next week we'll kind of wrap up 2024. Kind of wrap it up. I'm gonna go back and look at some fights and just look at some good knockouts. There was a lot of good knockouts. Not even in the UFC, as far as a whole. It was across the board, man. There was some good knockouts, man. There's some good finishes in LFA this year. It's been crazy. There's been some viral knockouts. So yeah, that's something I want to go back and look at next year, man. Well, next week, because it was a number of them. I was looking at some of these fights last week. In the week before, there was a lot of like viral finishes, man. There was a lot of crazy viral finishes. Yeah. Yeah, easy. Just like Weili fans, just like the Weili fans, Rose fans, Dakota fans. Surprisingly, Kayla Harrison fans haven't been that bad. Macy Barber fans can be kind of crazy, but really the top three I've noticed. Valentina fans aren't that bad, but sometimes the top three is Weili, Rose, and Dakota fans, in no particular order. No particular order. It's those three fans right there. Those three fan bases right there. They're nuts. Well, I won't even say like the fans, but the fan boys. Marcus said, "I bet those same people who think you are hating, and as soon as Dakota loses, they will go hide underneath the rock." Oh yeah. Same thing like when Grasso era came and gone. Like when I kept picking Valentina to win, it was like, you don't know what you talking about. Then all of a sudden, Grasso era's gone. Grasso era's gone, and that's it. And now Grasso could lose to Aaron. Grasso's nothing. Like, hey man, support your fighter. Support your dang on fighter. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, man. This past weekend wasn't bad. We had Invicta FC. We had the PFL Europe tournament. It was only one flyweight fight on there. I kind of want to talk about that one a little bit. Ain't much to talk about really, but if y'all aren't really familiar with the Europe flyweights, it is interesting. I think it's going to get interesting. This might kind of lead to that super fight, which isn't really a super fight in my opinion, but we'll see for Dakota, because they really are trying to find something for her, but I really don't know if they will. Yeah, this fight was Saturday too. Paulina Winuska. I don't know if y'all been keeping up with Paulina Winuska. She was supposed to fight Chanel Dyer, but Chanel Dyer had to pull out because of an injury. She was there, cage side, I believe, watching. Shout out to Chanel Dyer, but Valentina Scatizzi, she stepped in, and boy. And this right here, it kind of puts the stamp a little bit more on Paulina, man, to just let you know how dangerous she is. Paulina Winuska, she only needed 20 seconds, y'all. 20 seconds. And I know styles make fights, but after seeing this, I was like, yo, Chanel Dyer is going to have her hands full when they meet, man, because this girl right here, her shots were thudding. I mean, on the back foot in 20 seconds, she was able to handle this Tasmanian devil style of Valentina Scatizzi. Like if you've seen her fight with Chanel Dyer, her boxing was solid. Her boxing and her pressure, it was kind of giving Chanel Dyer some problems. That's why it was a 3-round split decision, because, she was having some good moments and she was doing well with the exchanges against Chanel Dyer. She tried that same particular style against Paulina. She tried to let it go early, man. Like, as soon as the bell rang, she came storming out, trying to put that pressure on Paulina. But hey, Paulina, she was like firing long punches, man, and she cracked Valentina Scatizzi right down the middle. And then when they went in the clinch, she dropped that knee to the chest. I mean, she lifted that knee to the chest, and that's what really ended the fight. Like, Scatizzi's plans of trying to go in there and muscle or outbox Paulina, that was out the door, man. Like, as soon as that happened, she caught that knee to the chest. She went down just like this. And she ate I would say 8 or 9 strikes, and you could see each one of them just like really rocking that head. So she tapped. It looked like she tapped to strikes. When I first saw it, I was like, okay, you could argue it's premature, but at the same time, if she didn't tap, she wasn't answering. She wasn't answering. And each shot was really like rocking her bad. Like, she didn't have any defense. She wasn't really like trying to block shots. Like, she wasn't even trying to reach up her shield. You could tell she was hurt. You could tell she was just hurt because she just stayed on all fours, and she didn't even try to like she didn't even try to like shield yourself. Like in this position right here, when you was like little and you had them tornado drills and you just kind of like fold your arms over your head. Like she wasn't even doing that. She wasn't even trying to do that. Like just shield her head like bombs was coming in. She just stayed on all fours, like her head was still spinning. So I saw her left hand reach over and tap like she was done. And then finally the referee, he just, stepped in and stopped it. So at first glance, I was like, okay, maybe that was premature. Maybe that was a little premature, but nah, that was a good call. That was a good call because yeah, she did tap and she was taking too many shots. That was just too many concussive shots because Paulina got power too, man. She got a lot of power like that. So yeah, it was legit finish, man. But yeah, I kind of saw it going this way. Man, because I was just like, Valentina Scaltese, she'll come in with that pressure. I thought Chanel Dyer was going to finish her like that, but she kind of played more into her boxing style. And I think this Valentina, her timing was kind of throwing Chanel Dyer off a little bit. The timing was throwing her off. So she had more success in that fight. But this one here, Paulina wasn't playing, man. She threw that right hand and them jabs down the middle. Then that knee to the chest. That's the one that really put her down and she finished her, man. So that was a good fight. So she gets $100,000. Unfortunately, she doesn't get the $1 million like Dakota, but she got $100,000 check here, but it puts her on the map and that moves her to 5-0, so she's still growing as a fighter too. I believe, like, I still think she's a few levels under like the fighters like Dakota and so on. So I don't really see them stepping into the cage right now. And again, Dakota's just on a different level when it comes to her power. Like, I still don't know like how well Paulina would be able to take a shot from Dakota. Like, well, that's the question with a lot of girls. Like, how are these girls punch resistant when it comes down to a heavy hitter like Dakota? Easy, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not trying to overplay it or overhype it, you know me, but I'm just saying, like, I still do think that when it comes to the connection and the power that Dakota delivers against some of these younger fighters, I don't know if they're really built to take them shots like that. Some of these girls, they got abs too. Like I said, they got abs, but Tyler had abs. Tyler Santos had abs, but still, like, they ain't ready for that type of Dakota power. So maybe Paulina's watching, maybe she's watching these fighters like Dakota and so on. So maybe she's going to prepare her body to the full, extent where she can go and just really work on that conditioning, because I do think they will try to push this fight at some point. Dakota has another year in the PFL, so they might try to do like a unification here with the tournament she was in and the Europe tournament. So they're trying to find a super fight, and they might try to build this one up. I mean, again, she's only 5-0. Paulina and Chanel Dyer, I think they're just a few levels behind Dakota. With Dakota being 14-0, and Paulina's only like 5-0. So she really hasn't faced too many different looks. She has only got 2 finishes on her resume. I mean, she finished D. Begley too, so the other fights have gone the distance. She hasn't really had her ground game tested. She hasn't really had to go to war too much. So I'm not sure if she's going to be ready for a full-on war like that. Joanna's behind her. This is another fighter that Joanna's behind. Joanna, she trains with Dakota. She's seen her train. Now she's, with her. Matter of fact, what was she saying about her? I know Marcus, he saw it too, but Joanna, she went on record to say, hey, this girl could be the next big thing too. So she's kind of been in the corner of both fighters. So, I mean, if she's putting her stamp on them, I'm sure that these are good fighters. Paulina, like I said, from what I'm seeing, I think she's good. But as far as her technique being as solid as Dakota's, I still think she's a few levels behind. So I'm not gonna try to match them up anytime soon. I'm still not gonna match them up anytime soon, because I already think Dakota is UFC ready at this point. I think she's UFC ready at 14-0. So yeah. Easy says it's really going to be interesting. Dakota's stock would skyrocket if she finishes her. Yeah, if she was to finish somebody like this too, get her out of there, then it would really say, okay, what else do we have to offer? Axel, what's up, man? I said, I think only Jasmine and Manon can eat Dakota's punches at some extent. The other flyweights are too undersized for Dakota. Yeah, I think that chin wise and body wise, you can only take so many. You can only take so many. Yeah. Like I think the bigger they are, like those are the ones that could take them. But eventually, you don't want to take those type of shots for too long, right? All right. So what else do we have? Invicta. Yeah, Invicta had their last card. I didn't get a chance to really watch this card. I think the prelims only gave us one fight. Yeah. Yeah, it was only one fight on YouTube. Then they jumped straight to the main card. And, like I said, I don't have CBS and all of that, but I did, catch the updates. I saw the winners, on IG. Let's see, Fernanda Orellana got a submission over Ashley Barrett. Anna Palacios beat Monique Adrian by decision. That was an atomweight fight. Okay. Tina Black got a decision win over Yasmin Castano. Okay, yeah. I see her. Yeah. I'm glad that Tina Black is getting back in the winner's circle, man. I think it's like her third win in a row. Hopefully she can put it together, man, to get to the UFC, man. I hate to see her talent get wasted, I want to see her level up. I don't know about y'all. Yeah, I do like Tina Black's style. I just think that there's some polishing up, and I think she's almost there. Y'all. What do y'all think? This is the fight that upset me, though, and I know it upset BJ. Shout out to BJ, man. Look, Paulina Christina, man, split decision win over Alejandra Lara. Alejandra Lara, man, every time, man, I see her fight, I'm shaking my head, man. I'm shaking my head because she just comes up short. Another loss for Alejandra Lara, split decision. It's like she's always right there on the cusp of a victory, but she knows how to pull back and just lose. I'm like, dang, girl, what you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like she was on like a 4-fight losing streak. Then she went over to Combate, and she bounced back and got a win. She fought on another regional circuit, got a win. Lower level wins, comes back to Invicta and loses. I'm like, dang, girl, like, why are you doing this, man? I think I did a segment on her one other year, man, when I was talking about fighters that need to step it up or they were going to get cut, and she was one of them. She was one of them. Like, I was like, this girl right here, she's got to step it up. It's always like she's almost there. Like, she's on the edge. Like, I'm going to put it like this, man. Marcus, easy. I'm going to put it like this. It's like she's got the barrel of the gun on her opponent's head, right? And she's got a point blank. She's got a point blank shot. But last second, right before she pulls the trigger, she just turns it up in the air and shoots. And then her opponent's like, okay. Then her opponent pulls out their gun and shoots her, or she shoots herself in the foot. Let me put it that way. She got a point blank target, and what does she do? She turns it down her own foot and shoots herself in the foot. That's what it seems like. I'm just saying, man. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying, look, there's been times I'm like, Lara is ahead in the fight, but she just seems like she has the right game plan on how to let it go. Man. Yeah, Lara's style is always set up to get robbed. Easy said, I done just gave up on Lara. Man, BJ, I know he hasn't yet. And I still like Lara, but man, like, once again, she comes up short. Who else was on this card? Let's see. That was the co-main. So yeah, there wasn't that many fights. Oh, the other atomweight fight on here got canceled. That's what it was. There was only 5 fights on this card. They started off with like 7. 2 of them got canceled. Okay. So that's why a lot of the prelims, were just shut off. Like the YouTube channel usually shows at least 3-4 prelims. That's why it cut to the main card so fast, because a lot of them were canceled. All right, so that was a co-main event. And then, of course, shout out to Jennifer Maia. Yeah, shout out to Jennifer Maia. She's back in the winner's circle. She got her second Invicta FC title, this time at bantamweight. I kind of figured she would get the victory too. Like, fan pick, I was going for Toledo Bernardo. I wanted to see Toledo Bernardo defend her title. What this would have been like her second or third time. But Jennifer Maia, like I said before, Jennifer Maia, like she still got those skills. Like she still got those mid-ranking skills where she's good enough to beat the C and D level fighters, but she struggles and comes up short against the A and B. If that makes sense. I don't know. Sometimes she struggles with the C. Sometimes she struggles with the C fighters. Sometimes she struggles with C fighters too. So I was kind of questioning if Jennifer Maia was going to show. But yeah, Jennifer Maia's always had enough tools. Like Jennifer Maia didn't leave the UFC looking horrible or anything like that. Like she's 23-10, but Jennifer Maia, if you go back and look at her losses, Jennifer Maia was never like destroyed in a fight. Her thing has always kind of been lack of adapting, lack of IQ. She's always been durable and she's always kind of held her own in fights. But, if you go all the way back to like Invicta, she fought like fighters like Leslie Smith years and years ago, and Deanna Bennett, she always held her own, but you'd be like, man, how'd she lose to this person? So-and-so, she beat Roxanne. She beat Roxanne a few times, I believe. They fought in Invicta and the UFC. But then she could beat fighters like JoJo. But when Manon came along, Caitlin Chikagan 2 times, she could never handle that type of style. So I never really counted her out to be able to just go in there and throw it all away. Like she's never been that type of fighter. Like she still has way more offer, I think. Sometimes she just, I don't know, man. Sometimes she just doesn't. It's almost like, I'll put it like, it's almost like Andrea Lee, but not as bad. Almost like, well, Tyler Santos. Like they're kind of in that same category, but I think she even tries harder than Tyler Santos sometimes. I think that she's a lot more durable than Tyler Santos and committed to certain skills than Tyler Santos. Tyler Santos is a good grappler, but I feel like Tyler Santos, she throws it away a lot more. Like sometimes I think Jennifer Maia just doesn't level up. She's just not fully in there. Bipolar said, why did she get cut? I believe it was a contract situation. It just didn't get renewed. They didn't like just cut her, but it was just like a contract situation where they just didn't renew it. I think I did a video on it a while back, but yeah, it was around that same period, when Tyler, theirs was like a business deal. They just talked themselves out of getting renewed, whereas Jennifer Maia's, her contract was up and they didn't renew it. So she just said, I'm going to go over here and try something different. But we'll see if she's coming back. Yeah, because Jennifer Maia, I know some people were saying she would have been a good test for like Erin Blanchfield's style too. Like that would have been a different style matchup for Erin, because it was like, Erin fought a lot of the scrappy, powerful fighters, but I think Jennifer Maia does have more of a cerebral style that would make her have to adjust. That would have been a good fight for Rose too, if Jennifer Maia was still around. So Jennifer Maia, she's still like high-level gatekeeper. She's still a high-level gatekeeper. Like you bring her back now, she would still fall right back in line. Like if she's able to wake up, there's still some girls in there she could beat, on the lower level side, I believe, but shoot, still better than some of these other girls, right? Easy said Maia still lives in Brazil and she's good enough to make enough money to live comfortable there. Yeah, that Brazilian dollar translates to a lot. What's my man's name over there? He's got the big farm and everything. Went back and got his, family, a big house and everything. I know. What is his name? The older fighter now, the older Brazilian fighter. They showed his ranch, not really like a ranch, but they just showed the home he bought there, and I was like, wow, okay, it's a nice setup, especially for Brazil. But yeah, that money over there goes a long way, So them fighters, they keep on. That's why a lot of these fighters stay active. Like even when they're not up on like a title fight or ready, they're just ready to take a short notice fight. They're just ready to take a short notice fight and get that money. Unfortunately, Jessica Andrade hasn't been able to do the same thing. She hasn't really been able to keep her money straight like that. All right, so if we see her back eventually, that would be nice. Hopefully, it would be at 125 because she only made 133. Just so y'all know, she was only at 133 for this bantamweight fight. So I don't think if Jennifer Maia came back at 135 in the UFC, that would be good. Because I still think with the way these other girls like Cavalcanti fight, I think she would get picked apart and out-muscled by bigger fighters like Macy Chiasson and even, somebody, Eileen Perez possibly, Speaking of getting signed, this girl right here, this young lady right here from Cage Warriors who just won a belt, she just got signed, Kennedy Freeman. Y'all heard me talking about her a few days ago. 6-0, and she just won the title a couple weeks ago. My thoughts on this one, man. I'm wishing her the best, definitely, Kennedy Freeman. But at 6-0, I just haven't seen like a higher level of competition yet. So I can't really say like there's going to be even some step-in fights that are going to be easy for her. Even those girls like Melissa Dixon, Daria Zalesnikova, of course, Cavalcanti, Chelsea Chandler. I think all those girls are going to be very tough even in the debut. So I can't really call it yet. Yeah, easy. I'm not sold yet like that because being honest, 6-0 with the level of fighters that she's been fighting at Cage Warriors. Of course, like I always say, these fighters, they jump at the opportunity because they want that money and they want that spotlight. But me being just honest, like even on the lower level, there's a lot of big girls there. She's not really a big bantamweight. She's really not that huge. I believe she's like 5'6", but she just doesn't seem as like long and wide and broad like some of these girls like Chiasson, or even just like long like what is her name, Cavalcanti, long and rangy. I even think like Melissa Croton, like when she gets to a certain level and her style really starts to her styles that she's been working on, when they really start to develop. Melissa Croton, she's a big bantamweight. But yeah, Kennedy Freeman, I'm not really sure where she'll fall in. And this is what I was scared of too, man, because I was like, when she wins this belt, they're gonna throw her a contract, man. Axel said, what's her skills? Her skills mostly been kind of a brawling stand-up fighter, kickboxer, a little bit of boxing mostly. Like that's what I've seen. Like just about every fight, like she might have a black belt in something, or like a blue belt or a brown belt in something, but she's mostly been knocking girls out. Like when I first seen her in Cage Warriors, she scored a knockout, scored another knockout, and I believe some of her early fights, because she fought one girl I know too. I interviewed Flora Hani, French girl. I don't know if you know who she is, Flora Hani, Axel. Yeah, she's French, and I interviewed her like a few years ago. Kennedy Freeman beat her, and it was mostly more like a stand-up fight. Like most of her fights have been just stand-up brawls, like more like a boxer, kickboxer type of style. So that's why I'm kind of curious as to see where she falls in, because there's some hard-hitting girls here. They might try to match her up with Josiane Nunes, and ooh, man, Josiane Nunes, ooh. Hey, I'm gonna go on record now, man. That might be the first fight she has to fight. That Russian Ronda girl, how long is she on a suspension for? Anybody know? I know she was on like a year. I believe she got suspended for like a year. Easy or anybody? Like, y'all know who I'm talking about, right? The Russian Ronda, Axleva. Is that her name? Irana Axleva. She got suspended, and I believe it was for a year. I'm just not sure how much longer she has. So she's a big bantamweight, hard hitting bantamweight, and she's a judo expert too. So somebody like that would be dangerous. Josiane Nunes though, okay, yeah, it's about a year. Okay, Yeah, Jocelyn Nunes. I don't know, man. That might be a style they try to put her in there with. Because even right now, like, even though I'm not the biggest Eileen Perez fan, Eileen Perez is a dangerous fighter. Eileen Perez is dangerous. Um, you don't have a Samantha Edgar anymore. Samantha Edgar got cut, right? I believe Samantha Edgar got cut. So you don't have somebody like her to go in there and get an easy win off of. What is the other girl's name? Montserrat Rendon. Montserrat Rendon, bantamweight from Mexico. You got her. She's unranked. Melissa Mullins. She's been having trouble making weight. What's her name? Nora Cornell. Yeah, some of these girls, they may not show top 15 skills either. But I'm curious as to see how Kennedy Freeman matches up with some of them. I still wanted to see her ground game develop a little bit more. You know, I wanted to see her ground game develop a little bit more, but we'll see how it goes, y'all. We'll see how it goes. Definitely want to see her win, man, because I don't want to see these girls lose. You know, I want to see them ready, and I want to see a bantamweight division. You know, period. I want to see a new bantamweight division. So I'm just trying to see some fighters that's ready to go. You know, so hopefully she's able to do it. Yeah, Perez is dangerous because he's ghetto. Never count out those wild creatures out there. Oh man, yeah, Ricardo Mayorga. You know, if you weren't like Shane Mosley, like willing to give it back and ready to give it back, and you love that type of style, you know, you'll fold. You know, shout out to, you know, rest in peace to Vernon Forrest, but he could never beat Ricardo Mayorga. But Shane Mosley, that's why I said Shane Mosley, he one of my top fighters, man. Like Shane Mosley, people always knock his boxing, but Shane Mosley got a chin of stone, man. Shane Mosley was a killer too, man. So Shane Mosley was ready for that dog. Shane Mosley was a dog, man. Where the Wayne Kong fans at? That's the second question. Where the Wayne Kong fans at? Hey, where the Grasso fans at? Where's the Grasso fans? But yeah, man, wishing the best for Kennedy Freeman. Moving on over here. Who would y'all like to see her fighting her debut, though? That's the question. Like, who do y'all want to see Kennedy Freeman debuted against? Who would you put her in there with? Y'all gonna do that? Are y'all gonna do that to her? Y'all gonna put her in there with Jocelyn Nunes? Y'all want to see her fight Jocelyn Nunes first? It's just a question. Just a question. Because, you know, Jocelyn Nunes really hasn't fought that much in the UFC either. Jocelyn Nunes only has 5 fights so far. She's been in the UFC, what, like almost four years now? 4 years and only 5 fights. She's on a back-to-back losing streak right now. So, dang, Marcus going to do that to her. Oh, yeah, I believe Tainira Lisboa is about to come back too at some point. She's been training. Tainira Lisboa, because somebody asked about her a while back. And I told y'all she was recovering. You know, she had some knee issues, knee surgery. Yeah, so Tainira Lisboa, she's been back to training. I believe she's been grappling now, and she's been, you know, striking. So we'll see when she comes back. So they might do her and Russian Ronda if they come back around the same time. But yeah, Marcus, he trying to get somebody hurt. All right, what's up, G Frank? He said, let's get to the important stuff. Did you see Cherry Bomb's street beef fight? That girl got a jab. Cherry Bomb. Cherry Bomb. Let's sidetrack you real quick. Cherry Bomb and the street beef. Did I see that? I haven't seen that. Cherry Bomb. Not Hostility, right? Yeah, Hostility. I follow her. Cherry Bomb. I haven't seen it. Let me keep it to the side. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Yeah, Cherry Bomb. I'll keep that to the side. I'm gonna keep it to the side and check it out. Hostility is still the one that I'm keeping my eye on because she's training. You know, she's training hard and she looks like she's ready. Okay, so 2024 is about to end, and I know I asked some of y'all, who do y'all think y'all's favorite champion was, or who do you think your fighter of the year is, as far as champions? But ESPN, man, they already picked theirs. ESPN, I believe they said this is their fighter. Yeah. ESPN MMA 2024 awards, women's fighter of the year goes to Kayla Harrison. I was like, oh, okay. That was my first reaction, just because, I was like, looking at all the fighters that I posted and the fighters that have belts and, have set the records on different things. I was like, okay, why can't we look at these names? And I didn't even see their nominees this year, honestly. Like, I didn't even see them. I just saw this on Instagram. Like, it didn't even say nominee. It just said that, Kayla Harrison's the winner already from what it sounds like. But I'm a growing fan of Kayla. Like, I'm not in the same boat I used to be in where I was like, oh, Kayla's this, Kayla's that. But, watching her train a little bit more and see how she has been approaching bantamweight, I am starting to grow as a fan. But women's fighter of 2024, I don't know about that. I can't really see her as women's fighter of 2024. Like, yeah, she came over to the UFC finally and she won 2 fights. She had more of an active year than some people. Some fighters only fought once, but that was Holly Holm and it was Ketlin Vieira. So I thought it was more just like an introduction. It wasn't really like a statement maker, like this big stamp, like, oh man, yeah, she accomplished something. She won. Had she, I will say this, had she stayed in the PFL and fought one time in that one fight, been against Chris Cyborg, then maybe I probably would say, yeah, she's fighter of the year. I mean, you couldn't argue that then, right? I mean, I would say that then. Like, let's say if she did fight Pacheco again for a 4th time, won the belt, or what if she just fought Chris Cyborg, is that one fight, and won, then I probably would definitely put her in that category and say, okay, yeah, she fought her for the featherweight Bellator belt, whatever she had. Then I would say, yeah, if she took that belt from Kayla, if she took that belt from Chris Cyborg, I would give her a fight. I would put her in that. I would put her in that pool of fighters to choose from. She would be a candidate for fighter of the year then, off of just that one fight versus beating Holly and Ketlin Vieira. That's just me. Because like I said, for me, women's fighter of the year, it will come down to even Weili. Like, Weili fought one time, but I would still put her in there because she's the champ. But Valentina, Valentina fought one time, but the way Valentina was able to get her belt back and become a 2-time champion, yeah, I would put her in there. Dakota, I would put her in there too because, she won the $1 million. She beat Tyler Santos, put herself on the map big time, got a belt, definitely. Even Juliana Pena's got to be in that conversation. Even Juliana Pena, she's got to be in that conversation too, man. Juliana Pena's got to be in that conversation too because she's a 2-time champion now too, okay? And her and Rocky did put on a really good bantamweight fight. Like, I think that championship fight was really solid. So those were the names I had. But yeah, Kayla Harrison is women's fighter of the year. I mean, you can put her in that candidate. Like, okay, we'll throw her in the pool, but actually winning over, even like I said, Chris Cyborg winning her 5th belt, I probably would have leaned more. It to me would have come down more to Shevchenko and Cyborg. Those would have been the 2 choices for me. Yeah, I would have had it between those 2. Easy. So I think Grasso would have took it if she had beat Valentina in the last year. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think that she probably, if she would have been able to defend her belt a second time against Valentina, this time with a legit win, yeah, she probably would have got fighter of the year. Had Weili maybe fought at least 2 times this year. Look, if the Suarez fight was this year and she won, Weili would have got it probably. It would have came down to them 2. Dakota killed Bellator and UFC fighters. Yeah, Axel. Those are the fighters I saw. Like, those are the fighters I would choose from for 2024. Kayla Harrison, you know, she just came over to the UFC, was making a transition. I didn't really see it as this big thing, you know. I didn't really see it as like this big statement maker because those were just wins to kind of get her into the mix, you know. That's just me. That is just me. All right. What else do we have? Yeah, Miranda Maverick and Jamie Lynn Hort this past Saturday. I like I was saying in my other video, I think Miranda Maverick definitely kind of forced herself in this fight in more ways than one. Like, I think she kind of forced it. Had this been any, the more I look at this fight now, I was like, the more I look at how she forced it in this fight against a big, strong fighter in this approach, that wouldn't have been a good game plan against somebody at the top 15. And of course, I think she knows that too. Maybe she just wanted to take an approach because this was an unranked fighter and she wanted to go in there and try her best to get her out of there. You know, she kind of forced it into a grappling match, but, you know, Horth was just too strong. And, yeah, so after watching the fight, you know, I'm just like, I can still see Miranda Maverick doing better against some other styles in the top 15, but this approach here, you know, and the way Horth did improve in what she was doing as far as her stand-up game, you know, her takedown defense, you know, it definitely made for an ugly fight. Because this is what Miranda said too. She's like, worst victory I ever gotten, worst performance I ever done as far as still putting out the win. Just don't really put out what I've got in there. She said, I'm disappointed in my performance. I'm better than who I was. At the end of the day, a win is a win. I get paid for the win the way that I need to. Hopefully renegotiate and get higher up the ladder. Okay. So yeah, with that being said, I just think sometimes, I think sometimes, you know, when fighters have to fight down, they fight to the level of their competition, or they just don't put on that masterpiece that they do against some high level fighters. You know, you see people do that all the time. Like, I know Easy, you know what I'm talking about when we talking boxing here. Some of Terrence Crawford's fights before he fought the Errol Spence fight have always been like average, right? They've been good, but when you go back and look at some of the boxing matches, Bud be getting hit. Bud be getting cracked in some of his fights, you know, but he still come out to victory. He still comes out and stops the guy. But it's like he's fighting down to a level where he's good, but you start saying, okay, I see holes. But the minute he got that fight with Errol Spence, you know, for Undisputed, it was different. It was different. It was like a totally clean, picture perfect fight. It was A+ performance, you know. And that could be the situation here. I mean, you've seen it in the past where fighters, they're ready for their ranked opponent, but when their ranked opponent pulls out and they got to fight down, then they kind of feel mentally drained because now it's like, what am I doing this for? But that's why you got to stay sharp. That's why even from Miranda, like, you just got to be a fighter that's able to adjust and say, all right, well, I know I trained for Tracy Cortez. Well, let me show I'm a complete fighter by being able to dismantle and dominate this particular fighter on the fly. You know, let me see what they offer. Hey, I'm still better. Let me watch me do this. You know, just something like that. But I'm glad that she realizes this wasn't something to harp over. You know, this wasn't to say, yeah, I won. Give me a top 15. You want a top 15, but at the same time, you still say, okay, yeah, I could have done better. This was a bad performance. Because that'll make her say, okay, I got to go back and work. Even though I'm calling out, you know, while I'm calling out top 15, I got to go back and work because top 15, they're going to be something to handle, you know, whoever it is you fight. Viviana Araujo, Jessica Andrade, anybody. And just so y'all know, too, Casey O'Neill, she's out of the rankings now. So, you know, on the good side here, this fight did earn Miranda Maverick a 15 spot. You know, she won 4 in a row. That's what matters. You know, it was a D-level performance, but she got a top 15 spot off of. She got a 4th victory in a row. She's never gone on a 4 victory streak before. So at the end of the day, you can't knock it. You know, she can't knock it. She's number 15. Casey O'Neill's out of the rankings now. So, you know, she's in there. So now she can always negotiate and ask for a top 15. Right. Makes sense. But yeah, from what I've seen, Miranda definitely for a shorter fighter too against a big tall fighter. I thought she had some good distance management, good timing, good read on her opponent's kick. I did see some improvements there. So I thought, she should have stuck to more of a striking game plan than trying to grapple with somebody this big. That's just me. Robot Chicken said Miranda should have kept it on the feet. Yeah, I think she should have too. I think she should have kept it on the feet clearly. Yeah, even Miranda wasn't happy with the performance. Yeah, Todd. Yeah, she wasn't happy with that performance. Yeah. Easy says some fighters know they can beat other fighters with the skills alone, so they don't try as hard because they know the opponent is not on their level. Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes when you force it, it's like you're just going to put yourself in a situation you don't need to be in. And again, that brings me back to Tyler Santos. Like, if Tyler knew her skills were on par with some people, she wouldn't try as hard with certain situations. She would just go in there and say, I'm going to bring it when I see the opportunity. I ain't going to just go in here and try to always play the big girl or the bully or feel like I need to get it here now. And that's a part of cage generalship, ring generalship, cage generalship, all of that. That's just a part of like letting your skills lead the fight. Let the skills lead the fight. Yeah, that's why I say just a wrong approach in the fight. Because I think moving forward, man, when she fights, I don't think they'll give her Casey O'Neill now. If Casey O'Neill is unranked, I think that an Andrade fight would be nice. Like Andrade, Lipsky, or Rujo. Any of those fights would be good for her. Any of those fights would be good for her. What's up, James? Any of those fights, I think at this point would be good for Miranda Maverick for sure. I was still a little disappointed in this one too. And I'm a little disappointed in Josephine Knudsen, man, in her performance. I just kind of felt like, well, and we all saw it. I just think that she wasn't prepared for somebody that was gonna just wild out the way she did. I think she thought she was gonna be in there with a point fighter, somebody that was just gonna set the range, set the tempo, and she could go in there and play chess and play chess and win a comfortable decision, which is what I thought too. I thought she was going to control her opponent, but Pierre Rodriguez, round one, boy, she dropped Knudsen, man. She dropped Knudsen in round one. Good combination, man, and just never turned it off. When you look at the strike stats, they were close. Pierre Rodriguez did have a cut, but that's what she wanted. That's what she likes. This girl is a mauler and a brawler. Josephine Knudsen wasn't prepared for that. Takedown defense wasn't on par. She just wasn't ready for that dog. And when I look at other stand-up fighters like Valentina and Manon, they're ready for the dog, man. Like, they like clean point fights. They like keeping the range, and they like the counter strike. But when you try to dog them type of fighters, Valentina should take you down. Manon, she can take you down. Manon can hit you with elbows on the inside. She's got good combinations, on the inside. Knudsen had that. She did have some nice shots, but her balance and her read on her opponents is just not there because she should have been getting that read on Pierre Rodriguez. When Pierre Rodriguez was stepping in the dirty box, that wasn't her full game plan. Her thing was to go in and bait her with a couple of shots, but then take her down. Pierre Rodriguez was like, I ain't gonna stand with this Muay Thai fighter. I'm gonna take this girl down, So she would play the punch game a little bit, and it worked. But she said eventually, I gotta get this girl to the ground and rough her up and beat her up here. And Pierre Rodriguez had some nice transitions on the ground. That shows you too, like, Knudsen got to work on her ground game big time. She don't want to turn into Marina Rodriguez here. She don't want to be like that. You might survive, you might not get submitted, but you ain't gonna win a fight on your back like that. So I don't want to see her in there, laying on her back anymore, because Pierre Rodriguez was making that look easy, man. She was transitioning from full mount, half guard, dropping elbows here and there, So this is what she wanted. It was a clear 30-27 to me. There was a lot of blood on Pierre Rodriguez, but I still thought Pierre Rodriguez was earning it. She was earning the fight. Definitely. James said, "Who do you think King? Who do you think King is fighting next? Oh, Casey O'Neill. She might be fighting the unranked fighter. She might be fighting an unranked fighter. Newton is like the quarterback you drafted number 1 and destroy your salary cap to go to 2 to 15 next year. A bust. Oh man, I think she'll be back, man. But yeah, there was a lot of questions that needed to be answered, and they were answered because before the fight started, I believe I was on the live when I said this too Saturday. I did say I want to see her if she gets by Pierre Rodriguez. I want to see her in there with somebody like Jillian Robertson or Vanessa Demopoulos to test her ground game. Lo and behold, I didn't know Pierre Rodriguez was going to test her ground game like that. And that right there told me, had she been in there with Jillian or Vanessa Demopoulos, they probably would have got the submission. They probably would have got the submission on her. Just being honest. They probably would have got the submission on her because their takedowns and their ground game is so much better. And, Demopoulos might not have the best defense, but that girl's got heart. That girl's got a lot of heart, and she can hit too. Like, she's a dog, so when she dogs with you, she'll take you down. And Demopoulos, man, she can submit too, man. So that's the level I wanted to see her fight on the ground next, but she couldn't get by Pierre Rodriguez on this one. Got to go back and work on the ground and got to work on takedown defense. Yeah. James said, why does she keep fighting unranked fighters? She should fight top 15, 10 to 15 easy. Who's that? Casey O'Neill? Do you mean Casey O'Neill, James? Do you think she should fight somebody 10 to 15 or Miranda? I know Miranda wants to fight Jessica Andrade next, but if they don't give her that, Ariane Lipsky is a doable name, and Arujo is also a doable name, unless they give Arujo the rose, O'Neill, O'Neill just cracked her 2-fight losing streak. O'Neill, they don't keep giving O'Neill unranked fights because remember, O'Neill's last 3 fights, one was unranked. Luana Santos was the only unranked fight she fought. Before that, she lost to Ariane Lipsky and she lost to Jennifer Maia. So Casey O'Neill is more in an unranked position than Miranda to me. Miranda kept getting unranked fights because everybody kept pulling out. Tracy Cortez pulled out twice. And people were denying her fights. Casey O'Neill didn't want to fight her. So they had to keep throwing unranked fights her way. But Casey O'Neill's kind of earning the unranked fights now because, she's just cracking her losing streak now. What's the highest rank O'Neill got a W over? Oh, man. You mean what's the highest rank she's beat? I don't think she has beat her. She hasn't beat a ranked fighter. That's the thing. Casey O'Neill hasn't beat a ranked fighter. Let me see here. Yeah, Casey O'Neill hasn't beat a ranked fighter. She just beat unranked fighters to get ranked, but she hasn't beat anybody that's ranked. Wait a minute. Let me think. Yeah, she hasn't beat anybody that was ranked. And Miranda hasn't either because Miranda did beat Andrea Lee. She beat a former ranked fighter. No. Hold on now. Andrea Lee was ranked whenever Miranda Maverick beat her, so she did beat her. Yeah, Miranda Maverick at least did beat Andrea Lee. She did beat Andrea Lee to get ranked, a little while back. But who did she lose to? Oh, she didn't lose to anybody. Yeah, she hasn't lost to anybody when she beat Andrea Lee. Casey O'Neill. Yeah, Casey O'Neill hasn't beat anybody that was ranked or is ranked. At least Miranda did. Yeah, Miranda beat Andrea Lee. That's the only one she did beat. Yeah. But this year, this year's been pretty good, I think, as far as fights. I'm gonna talk more about it next week. But let's see what else we was talking about. What else we got going on? I think that's pretty much a lot of the stuff I wanted to talk about as far as the fights going on that did happen. So I'll just see what y'all are talking about. Yeah, Montana beat Lee. Yeah, Montana Del Rosa beat Lee too, but yeah, Montana's not ranked right now either. She's not ranked as well. Looking at Weili more and Tatiana Suarez, like, how do y'all see that fight going now? Like, do y'all see it happen? No, I don't want to. I don't want to jinx the fight like that. I don't want to say anything like that, man. I think Weili still has a wide arsenal. Very selective. She has so many skills. I think she's developed over the years that just kind of puts her ahead of Suarez. But Suarez still got them go-tos, man. Suarez is still the bigger, better wrestler in this situation against Weili. But when I look at some of these past fights when Weili's landing them right hands and how Weili, gets shots in some awkward angles on the ground, this fight's going to be interesting, man. This fight really is going to be interesting moving forward. On paper, James said, who are you favoring right now? Right now, man, right now, if I had to just favor, this ain't my full-on pick, but when I look at what I've seen and just the development, I would say I lean a little bit towards Weili right now. I do lean a little bit towards Weili. Had this been 2020 and this was a uninjured Suarez, I got Suarez. I'd have Suarez hands down. I'd have Suarez like 70-30. People would call me crazy. People would get mad. Like, if this was old school Suarez, I'd be like 80-20 Suarez, 70-30. But with injuries coming into play in a bigger, more complete Weili that's disciplined and fought high level competition, Joanna, a fresh, dangerous Andrade, Joanna Rose, even Carla, got the belt from Carla. I still got to lean a little bit more towards what Weili's been doing. Todd said, I won't think Suarez fights until that cage door closes. I got Weili on this one. Okay. Yeah, James said Weili's more complete, but now how hard do you think it'll be for Suarez to implement her game plan? I think I'll put it this way. It'll be hard for Tatiana to really implement her game plan if Weili chooses to box a little bit in this fight. If she chooses to use her speed and step in and out and brawl like she wanted to do against Rose, or like how she did against Joanna, I think she'll have success, and it'll be hard for Tatiana to get in close. But if Weili fights with her ego and wants to test her wrestling and think her wrestling is just as good, then it'll be easy. It'll be easy for Suarez to get that fight. It'll be easy for Suarez to get that fight to the ground. Because, she wanted to take Lemos down, almost got submitted against Lemos. But when she got in there, it got easy because she figured out she was stronger and her ground and pound game plan was in play. It was in play. She was the aggressor on the ground. But I think when you fight somebody like Suarez, yeah, she might get in a few shots, but Suarez so much stronger, so much stronger in the hip department too, man. Like, she's going to know how to put Weili on her back, so I think Weili's going to have to just use the footwork and the speed here, use her footwork and speed and that fast right hand. She used that right hand to drop Lemos, I believe, right? Remember, like the 4th or 5th round? You think Tatiana should try to stay on the outside on the feet No, I think Tatiana Suarez should not stay on the outside on the feet because I think she would lose that game too, man. Like she might be working with the striking behind the scenes, but I don't think her striking is going to catch up to dictate the pace on the outside. I think she's got to be in close quarters at all times, man. Like I think she's got to find the inside every round that this fight goes. I don't think she'll benefit at all from staying on the outside. I think if she had a little bit of speed to her, like if Tatiana Suarez, that long frame of hers was like a Chikagan's frame or Dakota's type of frame, yeah, she could do that all day. But like her stance and her approach and her footwork, Suarez is all, in for close quarters. She's got to be on the inside. What's up, George? He said, didn't Weili used to work with Burger Jim with her wrestling? She used to work with Marab. James said, I think she keeps it on the outside and tries to go for takedowns when Weili gets aggressive coming in towards her. James said, yeah, she did drop. Yeah, I thought she did drop her. I do think that Carla, her game plan was to try to stay on the outside and then maybe wrestle a little bit. But if Suarez is going to stay on the outside, she's got to use timing, man. Like she's got to have a long jab for when, because you can kind of see, you can see when Weili is coming. That's the thing. Like Weili is fast, but she's not like this really great technical striker when she's stepping in. She's not like stepping in with calculation and throwing you off. Like when Valentina steps in a little bit more, it's subtle. Even like when Manon steps in, like it's kind of subtle when she steps in and out, and then she hits you with a check right hook. But I think Weili, when she commits to all or nothing, you can see it. It's like an all or nothing thing. Like when she's coming in, that's why Rose could time her. And Carla hit Weili with some good jabs. Carla did hit Weili. If you go back and look at fight, she was able to hit her with a couple good jabs. She just wasn't strong enough to keep her off. So that's not that wouldn't be a bad game plan for Tatiana to stay on the outside. But that's all in if she knows how to use her her range and her length against this faster fighter. Easy said Weili's fast for nothing. Yeah, she is fast, and that's the thing. Like I said, you still get a read on her. Like there's a lot of fast fighters out there. There's fast fighters. You fast hands. Your Ryan Garcia. I'm just fast hands for nothing. You know what I mean? Fast hands, but I can see you coming from a mile away. Like you see that little tornado, and then all of a sudden you catch it with one straight punch and they go down. So speed ain't nothing if you don't really know how to use it. So I'm hoping Weili doesn't just go straight forward in this fight and say, okay, I'm gonna be in and out, be this little beam. Because if Tatiana Suarez, if Weili has that type of game plan, then yes, Suarez on the outside wouldn't be bad. I think either in or out, no in between or mid range. Oh, okay. G Frank said if Tatiana's knees are good and healthy and she can shoot a takedown like she used to, then I'm picking Tatiana. Yeah. Now if Weili is wise, Weili would be start attacking behind that lead leg, going behind that knee. Yeah, Robot. I'm just trying to keep it fair. Here. We're gonna do a video comparing their wrestling too and how evolved the wrestling has gotten of Weili. Time to make some people mad. Time to make people mad. Because even I did a video about Carla's wrestling, people were like, oh, Carla ain't got the wrestling to beat Weili. I was like, Carla's a decorated wrestler. Carla's wrestling is high level. Like if she loses, she loses. It could be because of her size. Like good big woman always beats the good little woman, but had her wrestling, Weili's wrestling not been to a higher level, Carla could have beat her. Easy said Weili is going to try to strike with Tatiana first, and when she realizes Tatiana's length is something she can't handle, she'll have to keep inside, and Tatiana will get her then. Okay. Who do I got? Ebos or Dern? I'm gonna stick with Ebos in this one. I'm gonna stick with Ebos, even though Dern isn't the same Dern. Dern is a little bit better, But I still think Ebos has enough of what she's had in the past, like to control Dern and get a snap. That's a 5-round fight, ain't it? Yeah. 5-round fight might change things. Dern can fight for 5 rounds, though. Dern is a 5-round fighter. Like, she doesn't quit. But I'll still go with Ebos for now. I'm still go with Ebos. We're gonna talk about that fight, though. We'll talk about that fight a little bit more. James said, do you think Weili will try to keep it on the feet, or she'll welcome the grappling in the ground game? I think if she's feeling herself, she'll welcome it. But if she just wants to win, she'll keep it on the feet. That's how I think about it. Like, if Weili just wants to keep it on the feet, yeah. But I believe there was an interview where Weili said she wanted to wrestle because Suarez said, because Suarez was doing an interview and she answered back. She was like, yeah, I heard Weili said she wants to test her wrestling against me. I don't know if y'all remember that interview. It was like, I believe it was which fight was it? Was it after the Lemos fight or the Yan fight? I can't remember. But Weili did say she wanted to test her wrestling because Suarez got caught wind of it. She was like, yeah, I heard Weili wanted to test her wrestling against me. So, she was like, yeah, I'm going to be ready for that. Something to that effect. I don't want to misquote or put words in their mouth, but I remember that being discussed. So if that was a situation where Weili wanted to wrestle, then yeah, I think I would go with Suarez. Todd Johnson said, I think Weili should use oblique kicks against Suarez's knees, but Weili seems like the type of fighter that knows that's just dirty. Yeah, I haven't really seen Weili do anything dirty in a fight. Like, I haven't seen her poke an eye. I haven't seen her kick for the groin. I haven't seen her do anything. Even when she's frustrated, like, even whenever Weili's like frustrated, like, I give her a lot of respect for that. Like, I hate when I see some of these fighters start kicking for balls. You know what I mean? Like, they start kicking dudes in the balls, man. Like, and you know when it's coming, man. Like, who was that fight last weekend, man? I'm going to call him out right now because he kicked my man right in the balls. He got kicked in the balls. Who was it? Was it Cop? Hold on. Yeah, Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva was starting to lose that fight against Manel and kicked him, man. Kicked him right in the groin, man. So I was like, yo, right when he was losing that fight, he went right for his groin, man. I was like, come on, man. And that looked like that was a painful kick, too. That was a painful kick. That was all like ball of the foot right in the groin. So yeah. Robot said if Weili does that, then she deserves to lose. That's ego tripping. Fight Tatiana like Buckley did to Colby. Right. Yeah. I think it would be effective if Weili even like I know Weili was working with Nonito Donaire like a year or so ago. I wonder if she was still working with him as a boxer for the boxing. Because if she goes southpaw a little bit, that would be interesting. I think Tatiana kind of fights southpaw sometimes too, but that would be interesting if she could, switch it up a little bit and, have her head kicks come from different angles. Yeah, but we're gonna break this fight down because I think it's gonna be a good fight, man. I want to go back and look at that Andrade Suarez fight too, man. Like, I wanted to see how her striking looked in that fight. I really can't remember, it kind of blows past my mind now since it's been a while since I've seen that one. James said, I think Weili is more of a competitor, even though everyone wants to win. I think the W is not the end to be end all be all to her. Oh, okay. Yeah, this third title defense for Weili, this is a big one. This is a big one. So if she's able to do that, that'll definitely put her in that list of great champions with, Joanna and Valentina. I'm glad that somebody was able to break that curse since Joanna, man, and just defend their title more than once now. Like, I've been waiting for a dominant champion for a minute here. Yeah, Lemos Lucinda was a done deal. Lemos Lucinda was a done deal. That fight's going down. Yeah, that fight is on lock. I believe, I'm not sure if y'all heard about this, but Verna called out Jan Janan in the meantime. I like this, man. I kind of find this surprising. Like, is this new? Like, it seemed like a lot of girls have been taking to Twitter now, calling out fighters. Is that just me, or is it really going down like that now? Like, I ain't seen people call out people like this before, because we would have been talking about this, so we would have been posting this more. But Norma's calling out Rocky. You know, Manon, like I said, she's been taking to Twitter and Instagram and calling Valentina out over and over. But now you got Verna calling out Jan. Norma's calling out Rocky. Everybody's kind of, using their social media now. Like, don't y'all kind of find that surprising? Like, we didn't really see this a lot before, because if we did, I wouldn't be this surprised, right? I'm just saying, James. I'm just saying, like, who else was doing that? Like, even Cyborg, remember? Like, when Manon did that, even Cyborg tried to make her little video where she was milking the cow like Kayla Harrison. Like, remember? As soon as Manon went on record to, talk that junk, and then she was, calling out Valentina, even like sitting in the chair, and she was like, "Stop fighting me on UFC Fight Night," or something like that, on the game, on the EA Sports game. But now, like, girls like Chris Cyborg was calling Kayla out, and they're not even in the same organization. They're not even in the same. Yeah, they've been going back and forth, but why all of a sudden, like, you ain't never seen her do that though. You ain't never seen her do something like that. Like, she put the whole skit together. Come on now. They've been going back and forth, but when did you see her take the effort to put together a skit like that? Yeah. See, yeah, like G Frame said, they usually use social media to duck fights, right? They usually try to make an argument to duck a fight, but as of lately, like, a lot of the girls have been calling people out now. Because now, like I said, Norma making her call out. So yeah. James said, what she say now? You weren't aware of that, man? Like, I did a video. It was like a little while back, man. It was like right after that. She did it right after that, because I remember, because like, I think even like Chris Cyborg had commented on Valentina's comeback at Manon. So that just lets you know that she probably was inspired by that. Because if you go back and look where Valentina called, what did she call her? A little spoiled brat or something like that. Teacher's pet. Somebody got called a teacher, whatever. But in that, Chris Cyborg actually kind of made a reaction to it. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So when she saw that, then she went over and made her little skit with Kayla Harrison. So I was like, okay, I see. Like, now everybody's starting to make their little call outs. Yeah. See, she commented on that. She did comment on that. And that's when her video came out, James. That's all I'm saying. That happened. And there's been a couple of other calls. Like I said, Casey O'Neill now, she talking about, I want to fight the winner of Miranda Maverick and Horth. So she make her call out. Miranda's always been calling people out, but a lot of these fighters is trying to use that social media now. Yeah, she did that skit after that, James, because I did a video on it, and Coach, he did a video on it. So yeah, because he posted the little segment too on his channel. But yeah, what do we got coming up this weekend? We don't have any UFC, of course. UFC ain't gonna be back for another month, right? UFC ain't coming back till, somebody fill me in. When does the UFC come back? Is it January 18th? I know we got Usyk Tyson Fury this weekend. I'll probably be tuned into that. Got to work, but I'm gonna still be trying to check that one out. Yeah, Cyborg ain't got nobody left to fight. She done, man. I mean, she might as well call it a day now. She fought everybody. Yeah, January 18th. Is that when the UFC comes back? Is it UFC 311? Let me double check here. UFC 311. Yeah. That's the next card, James. No. Oh, okay. Yeah. Ebos Dern 2 the weekend before that. Okay, the weekend before that. That's the first card back. So yeah. So that's what, 4 weeks? 4 weeks from now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, about 3.5 weeks. Yeah. The first pay-per-view card back is that Islam card, though. That's the week after. But yeah, January 11th. Yeah, Dern Ebos 2, January 11th. Oh yeah, Roman Kovalov is on that card against Chris Curtis. That should be an interesting fight. Ernesta Karatakai, Nicole Cagliari. Oh, Fatima Klein and Dudakova is on this January 11th card. That should be interesting. I got Fatima Klein in that fight. Karatakai versus Cagliari. That should be a good fight. Contender series fight with Fatima Klein and Victoria Dudakova. Then you got Dern Ebos, the rematch. UFC 311 has a good lineup. Yuri Proska, Jamal Hill, Marab, and Umar. Kyo Rosa and Eileen Perez, they're on the early prelims. That's the only WMMA fight on that card. Yeah, Izzy's headlining the UFC Fight Night card in February. Yeah, so far you only got two. That's it. You only got two UFC cards. You only got two UFC cards in the month of January. What's Fatima's ceiling at 115? What is Fatima's ceiling right now? I definitely think she'll make top. I definitely think she'll get in the top 15, but I don't want to push it too fast and say top 5 yet. I think she'll definitely be in top 15 by 2025. Some period of like this third or fourth quarter of 2025. Because she is pretty big for the division. She's strong. She's got some good striking, really good jiu-jitsu, really good with her jiu-jitsu. So yeah, I think that her ceiling could be higher, but as of right now, I'll say Fatima's Klein ceiling, definitely see her in the top 15 for now. You know what? I'll say top 10. Excuse me. I'll say top 10 for now. I'll go as high as top 10. If Tabitha Reese can get the top 10, I think she'll get the top 10, no doubt. She was a double champion in the other organization, so I think she has the skill sets to get in there. So yeah. James said, who is there at 115? Is there a new girl on the rise who has real potential to be a real threat? Oh man, they're really, besides Fatima Klein, I really don't see anybody being a threat right now. I think she is a threat, but I haven't seen her fight anybody 115 yet, so I can't say it. She made her debut at 125, lost, which she just took that fight to get into the UFC. But until she fights maybe a couple of fights at strawweight, that's the only way I'll be able to measure. But as of right now, I can't really see it as like a real potential threat, man. Like, no, Ricci's not. Yasmin Lucindo, she's still growing. I'm gonna just put it that way. She's still growing. I can't say she's a bust or anything like that, but no. Denise Gomes, she's got to get the work in. So there's really no threats, not like Flyweight has. shoot, Dakota Ditch was more of a threat outside of the UFC flyweight division to the UFC flyweight division than any side strawweight right now, Yeah, she underperformed in that fight, James. Axel said, I would love to see MVP showing Bullet who is the true pirate. G. Frank said, I'm tripping. That Cherry Bomb Street Beast fight was a whole year ago. Yeah, some of them things be new to me, man. Some of them, I pulled up some that be like 4 years old. I'd be like, oh, dang. This is during that COVID period. Yep. But yeah, man, I guess about it for tonight. That's pretty much all I got to talk about. Was there any other fights that y'all looking forward to? I mean, we really don't have a full-on schedule yet. I'm looking forward to the championship fights. I'm looking forward to Valentina Manon, of course. I'm looking forward to not Santos. I'm looking forward to Weili Suarez. I'm looking forward to who Natalia Silva fights. I'm expecting a big year from Natalia Silva, though, man, because Natalia Silva deserves it. And I'm sure she feels like she deserves it. The world is hers right now. Natalia Silva's in that good position. Like, she's in that position like some of the other contenders were last year. So she's just waiting for hers. Yeah, Yasmin Lucindo's young. She still has a lot of room to grow. Yasmin Lucindo still has a lot of room to grow. But as of right now, I think that her hands are full with Lemos. I don't see her as like a top 5 yet. Definitely not a bust, though. And with that being said, y'all, good conversation like always. Shout out to y'all. Always a good group of people here. Nobody's going nuts over their favorite fighter, in my opinion, on their favorite fighter. James said, let's say the Bullet Manon fight is in June. When do you think they're going to give Natalia a fight? End of the year. You mean championship fight? Well, if you're talking title fight, she won't get a title fight till December, I believe. But if Manon and the Bullet is in June, Natalia probably fights in February or March. And it will probably be Aaron then, or Macy. So I said, peace out, happy holidays for sure. Merry Christmas. Everybody have a Merry Christmas. I'll be on before Christmas again, though. I'll be on the 23rd. That'll be the last time I'll be on for a little bit, because yeah, her next fight. Okay, her next fight, would probably be in. I believe she's probably going to fight in March or February, because she's training too. Like, she's training right now. I literally just saw her online now. So, still training. So I think that her next fight will be Aaron or Macy, maybe Rose, in February or March. But dang, man, Valentina Manon in June, that is a long time, man. Shoot, Manon could fight somebody until then. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, that's a long time, man. With that Valentina coming back in June, Valentina better be ready to come back in March, at least. You said Barbara's not taking Natalia. I give her props if she does. Yeah, she takes her. I'll give her props. But you got to remember too, the matchmakers, they probably looking at that one too, like, oh man, like, we can't do that to Barbara yet. We're gonna knock her stock down. So they're probably looking at it as well. Axel said, yeah. I remember Axel said that Manon's coaches negotiate to make the fight happen in March at 313. That's perfect right there. That should be perfect. 313, that would be a good co-main event, because that's what it would be more than likely, right? So March 8th, yeah. It'd be just few weeks shy of a year. So that gives her a lot of time to get ready and train. Yeah, I hope March. Let's kick this thing off right. You know, February, we got the strawweight title fight. March, we got the flyweight title fight. We already know that the June title fight for bantamweight ain't coming yet because I think Juliana Pena is trying to do it in International Fight Week or something like that. But to me, that junk should be in March or April as well. No main event in March yet. No main event for 313 yet. Still to be announced. Yeah. But on that note, y'all, let me get up out of here. Y'all have a good evening. Try to find something to watch. You know, check out UFC Fight Pass. I'm sure they got fights on there if y'all want to really delve into some fights outside of the UFC. But I think I might go with Usyk on this fight, James. I think I'm gonna go with Usyk. I don't know if Tyson Fury is up for the challenge. Tyson Fury might have a good start, but it all comes down to if he is feeling himself or he's dedicated. Who else is on this card? Let's pull up this card real quick. Usyk, Fury. Who else is fighting on here that I want to see? No big names on this card. This ain't one of their big name cards, but I'm trying to tune in to check this one out. Oh, all right, Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, so it's an early card too. So I'm gonna try to catch the replay if I can. But we'll see how this thing goes. Robot Chick said Manon might get a finish for having to wait so long. James said I'm rooting for Usyk again. I got a feeling Fury might pull it off. Yeah, I kind of think somebody's gonna get stopped in this fight. I think they both have the skills to get a read on each other and really kind of build off of what happened last time. So somebody's probably going to get stopped this time. It's the heavyweight division too, and the way they both were putting their chins out there and bodies. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm out. Make sure y'all hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe. Peace.